Uche, hang it up, you lost. They want to keep their beautiful black STEM educated family a beautiful black STEM educated families. Like fold it close, easy. The suitcase not gonna close. It's not gonna close. At this point, Milton is carrying the show. Okay, on behalf of all the men, he's carrying it. Izzy crying every 2 seconds. Uche at this point, he gone. I've been all in my phone, I got options, and I don't wanna tell you to drop it, but I don't wanna play your fair. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nadale and I make videos on makeup, motherhood and lifestyle. So if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Okay you guys, we are back for another cut crease commentary where I will be doing my makeup while discussing one of my favorite Netflix shows, and in this episode we will be discussing season 5 episode 8 and 9. Okay, I hope this video isn't too long, but if it is, don't be afraid to skim through to the parts that you really want to know about. Okay, also don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you do like this video. I always tend to forget to ask my viewers to subscribe, and also let me know if you guys like the look and if you enjoy these styles of video. I will try to link everything in the description box, but without further ado, let's hop right into the video. We are back again to talk about Love is Blind season 5, and this time we are reviewing episodes 8 and 9, and again the shit show, you know. So let's just dive right into it. So we see a continuation of episode 7 where Uche was basically coming for blood. I feel like Uche is mourning Milton, but also I feel like it's more something of he doesn't want Lydia to be let off the hook. Okay, like you kind of come and ruin my relationship with my potential wife, and now you happy and engaged and moving on with life. Uche said no. Okay, the whole time I was trying to protect you. The whole time. In the part, I wasn't telling none of the other men about you. I wasn't spoiling it for Milton. I didn't give him any information. But you over there in my girl ear just talking, saying everything you know, from the fact that we slept together. Well, I think she should have said that. But my dog's name, the gifts you bought my dog, the type of house I live in, my favorite color, the type of vehicle I drive. Like, girl, you were doing too much. So Uche was like, let me let you know a few things about Lydia before you go ahead with this engagement and marriage. While Uche is speaking to Milton, here comes Lydia rushing in. Hey babe, like, let's go, you can't talk to him, type of thing, and physically pulls him away. And I get it, she's upset, she's flustered, but at the same time, when you wanted a moment, he just said okay. There was no rebuttal. He just got up and he walked away. Now it makes me wonder, are you afraid of Uche? Because Uche knows, not afraid of Uche as a person, but are you afraid of the information that Uche has? Because he apparently knows you very well, and you think that maybe he will give off so much information that it will turn Milton off, and maybe he might call off the engagement or say no at the altar. Or Lydia, is it that you did not tell Milton that you and Uche just had sex 3 months ago, and probably you think that Uche was just about to drop that bomb, so you were trying to dissolve their conversation before it got to that point? Because I never saw, and I don't think any of you ever saw. Wait, hold on. We are also going to be doing our makeup, so let me not get too caught up. Do you guys think that Lydia was doing all of that, come on Milton, let's go, because she feels like Uche was about to out that information and she hadn't told Milton yet? I really think that that's a possibility if she didn't tell him yet, and I could see why she reacted like that. But she is also a bit of a hothead. She's a little bit hot-headed when she's upset. And Milton was like, can I get like 8 minutes or 5 minutes to talk to my friend? Like, and then she was like, no, let's go, let's go, let's go. Until like Uche had to be like, yo, don't let her control you. Which, as we have been seeing, is what Lydia has been trying to do, control that boy. Because in her mind, she's seeing a little boy. She sees a little boy and she feels like, you know, she has, and she does have that strong personality anyway. But I could not see her doing that with Uche if they were in a relationship. So anyways, so Milton says, give me a second. Basically, let me try and calm down my girl because she wilding. And Uche, with his drinky in his hand, goes over to the rest of the guests, to the rest of the pod squad. Izzy asks, are you okay? Because, you know, it seemed kind of heated in that conversation. And he goes, well, basically, you know, that was I feel like that was an invitation. Izzy was kind of asking, like, what happened, right? So he is saying in front of everybody, so there's about, I want to say, four women and two men. He already outnumbered. Women different than men, and they're gonna stick together. They're gonna try and defend their girl, which nothing is wrong in that. It's just that I feel like the only person that was looking at it objectively was Johnny. But let's get to that. And Johnny is also a lawyer, so she might be a little bit more. She might dissect the information a little bit different than the other women because she is also a lawyer. He goes to tell them, you know, apparently Lydia, I don't know which one of y'all she told. He didn't say according to Aaliyah, but obviously it's according to Aaliyah. She told somebody, I have a feeling that I'll be running into my ex. And he was like, either she was psychic or she had plans of coming here and following me. And obviously, I mean, logically that makes more sense, right? So we're using the Nubian palette by Juvia's Place. I am going to use 3 colors. I am using the darkest brown, and I know this palette looks a little bit up, but it fell and that's why it looks like this. So the darkest brown down here, we're also using the gold and this transition shade right here, and a little bit of the black to deepen the crease. So that's the only time I'll be mentioning which products I'll be using. From time to time I might show the product but not speak about it because I want this conversation to be kind of seamless. So Stacy was like, I can't remember what exactly he said right before that, but Stacy was like, oh, that's not how it was on our side. And then the other girls chimed in like, yeah. So Stacy was explaining something until Miriam. Now somebody tell me why Miriam is there. Tell me, is it because now they're lacking cast members, or is it usually like they bring people back from the pods? I can't remember how it usually goes. Probably they probably bring other pod members back. Anyway, Miriam is there and the other kind of Asian girl, I don't remember her name. So they are there, and then the two that didn't, who fell in love and got engaged, Kata and, oh, I don't remember her name, but Kata and the other girl. The girls chime in, they were like, that's not how it was on my end. Then Miriam kind of was talking over Stacy, and I don't know, like, y'all, we're gonna disagree right here, okay? Because I know there's a hate train for Uche, but in this segment, I didn't see nothing. I was Team Uche. I didn't see nothing wrong in what Uche said. I felt like it was appropriate, honestly. I feel like that's probably how people would answer, because Miriam. Anyway, he just said, Miriam, stop, like, basically stop talking over her. She's talking to me, like, have some respect, like, learn some manners, shoot. Like, and I feel like if it was a woman, she'd probably say that, but he didn't even say that. He was just like, Miriam, stop. Miriam was like, you're not gonna tell me stop. You're not gonna tell me. I said, oh, before that. When Uche was telling the girls his side of the story, tell me why Miriam was doing all kind of side eye. She was flipping her hair and flipping her hair. Then she watching Stacy, she rolling her eyes. I was like, is there beef? Like, what's tea? Like, because last time we checked, well, they didn't show us a lot about the relationship between Uche and Uche and Miriam, but we saw, the last time we saw her, she was lying for her teeth. It's either she was lying or she was confused. but that's the last time we saw her. So I'm like, what is all that extra stuff that she's doing? Okay, anyways, so she is now talking over Stacy, and Uche says, yo, Miriam, chill. Basically, he was like, stop. She's like, you're not gonna tell me stuff. I'm not Lydia. I'm not Aaliyah. I'll read you for the filth you are. And with your, what she said, toxic masculinity. So I was like, okay, there is definitely some beef there. I don't know what happened in the pause, but my girl could not wait for an opportunity for her to let Uche have it. But Uche was like, tell me, Uche didn't say what all of us was thinking. We were like, I was right there with him. Like, do you have a job or don't you have a job? Do you live in Saudi Arabia or do you live in Houston? Like, girl, who even are you? Like, what is your name? Like, is Miriam even your real name? And what accent do you have? Do you have an American accent or you have an African accent? Because at that point, she was just really, I don't know. Then she thought she was reading him. I don't know. Some people probably thought she was reading him. But in my mind, I was like, go sit down. She was like, I will read you for the filth you are. And I have a degree at John Hopkins. You can Google that. Now, it's based on what you said in the pause why he's asking those questions. You didn't know if you were coming or going. So there was absolutely nothing wrong in what he said. And he said it like making fun of her. He was like, did you? And he probably had a few drinks in his head or whatever. But I still didn't think that he said it in a disrespectful way. He was just like, do you live in Houston or do you live in Saudi Arabia? Do you have a business or you don't have a business? Like, girl, you know, worry about yourself, basically. And so she was like, Google it, blah, blah, blah. And to Uche, that probably just roll up his back. He's a lawyer. It's not like you having yeah, it's nice to have a degree from John Hopkins, but he's a lawyer. It doesn't really, if you probably told that to Izzy, then probably Izzy would take offense. You know, because Izzy, yeah. But I definitely did not think that was a read, and Miriam should have had several seats. It wasn't her fight. Honestly, I don't think she's even that close to Lydia like that, but I could be wrong. But I just feel like she had it out for Uche because of something that happened in the pods and we didn't get to see it, and so that's why she took that opportunity to go in. Before the distraction, Johnny really wanted the tea because she apparently is out of the loop. Okay, she doesn't really know what is going on to the extent that the women are, and not even the women truly know what's going on, because Stacy was like, you were not there when Lydia was comforting your new girlfriend about some stuff that her ex had done. So basically, I'm your friend, but I have to comfort you about my ex, you know? And she was basically saying like that was so noble of Lydia. But when she watches this show back, she's gonna really see the snakish behavior Lydia was doing. She's going to really see who was the victim and who wasn't the victim, and hopefully she feels bad about even like trying to insinuate that, you know, she was the savior of the story, because that really wasn't what it was. So anyway, Milton comes back, they go and sit down, then Lydia comes and she's telling the girls he wants to make me out to be a villain, but he's not gonna make me out to be a villain. You making yourself out to be a villain. Nobody asked you to befriend Aaliyah. Nobody asked you to do that. You did that on your own accord, but she will not take accountability for that because she does not want to accept her fault in the entire situation. You could have been there and you could have acted like you didn't know Uche, like the producer said, and then you could have definitely just moved on with your life. But no, you wanted to be in the mix, you wanted to be in the know, you wanted, basically when you came back, you had the intention of trying to move forward with Uche. Uche was the one who said, no, I don't think it would be good for the experiment. You wanted that man back. Quit playing. That was just a minute ago. You acting like as if it was a long time ago. No, you wanted that man back. So anyway, she's saying that I bet he didn't tell y'all that while he was with me, you know, he was smashing other girls or whatnot. But I'm like, in this show, they quote unquote vet people, and they ask you for pictures of your exes, and I think they asked for the names of the exes as well. If it was that serious, why you didn't list Uche as your ex? Especially given the fact that you guys were together 3 months ago. It could not have been that serious, Lydia. Like, I just don't get it. Okay, I just don't get it. It's just, it's giving weird. When Lydia said that he's trying to make me out to be a stalker, the Asian girl was like, who doesn't check their man's IG to see what they're doing? She was so busy responding, or I guess they didn't convey, Lydia did not convey that message properly, or the girl is misinformed, because they were not saying that Lydia was following Uche. Lydia was following other random women that Uche was friends with. So, again, they will make sense of it when they watch it back. And then they will see it was giving weird for real in real life. But okay. So Milton is listening to what Uche is saying. You know, Milton is not reactive like his fiance. He just listens, okay? So he's kind of just listening. Uche is like, I have the receipt. I don't even want to take it that far, but I can show you just so that you know I'm not lying, right? He's a lawyer. He wants to present his evidence to support his case. But Milton is like, no, you don't even have to do all that. Honestly, I believe you. He said, you don't have to do all that for me to believe you. Like, I can see that happening. Why? Because of the type of person that Lydia is. We can all see Lydia doing that. Like, let's be honest. We can all see, and a lot of women, you know, will admit that they have probably looked at a couple Instagram pages before. So, like, Milton was like, you don't have to even, like, show me proof of that. So he was like, yeah, I want you to know that that is what she was doing. Basically, take it and do what you will with it. He claimed that he wasn't trying to break them up, but I do feel like he was trying to get revenge, you know, to some extent. But I really do feel like he was just trying to warn Milton. And he said that he wasn't honest with Lydia by telling her that she's a good person, never change, because she was doing stuff that, you know, she should change. You know, if she was in this man's house, you can tell she needs to change some things, because Aaliyah was telling her, hey, I don't want to know this information. And what did she do? Continue to give the information. Milton was saying, hey, I don't want to wear this color pants. I want to wear this color trunks. I want to wear this color trunks. She was like, no, you're gonna wear the trunks. You're gonna wear the trunks. She doesn't respect people's boundaries. So I can see her going through his stuff. I can definitely see her doing that. It's not far-fetched at all. Anyway, Milton trying to be all technical with his speech, talking about we are an X plane and Y plane and we all whatever. Like, I understood what he said, but I was just like, Milton, this man has been with this girl from since what year? Like, on and off. You can, like, do what you want with that information, but I get it. You don't want to seem like he's ruffling your feathers, like he got to you or whatever the case may be. So you want to keep your cool and, you know, have a mature conversation and let that be that. I understand that, but you need to watch out for the red flags as well. I said at the end of it, I said, Uche, hang it up. You lost. Okay, you didn't get no girl this season. It's fine. Come back next season. Uche, just cut your losses and, you know, move on. Okay, so then you see this conversation between Izzy and Stacy and Chris and Johnny. First, it was between the guys. And Chris was saying, like, hey, like, I didn't appreciate you going and tell Johnny that, you know, I had this and this opinion of her because I never said that. And then he was like, I never said that. But Johnny, you know, Johnny does lie. Johnny's a lying ass. So Johnny tried to make herself seem like the victim and just totally, like, kind of you know, use the conversation between Izzy to make herself seem like the victim and all of that extra stuff, and said add extra sauce that wasn't in it, you know. So anyway, the guy's talking, then Stacy comes and she was like, "Oh, I didn't realize I was walking into more drama. I thought I was getting away from the drama." And while they're speaking, here comes Johnny. Johnny was like, "I see hands and stuff moving, like what we talking about," basically, because she already know it's about her. Stacy says she's a shitty person, so Chris is trying to tell her no, she's not a shitty person. So Stacy was like, "Well, if she's not a shitty person, then why you didn't propose to her?" And I was like, "Okay, touche, shit." Uh, but yeah, good point. If she so wasn't a shitty person, why didn't you go through the engagement? So I just thought that was a good rebuttal. Anyway, she said it was a lot of stuff going on. I went from a breakup to whatever. Izzy was like, hey, we were never together, so we couldn't get broken up. You were never my girlfriend. But before the two ladies had walked in, Izzy had told Chris, she asked me to be her boyfriend 4 times and said that she loved me 4 times. And Chris was like, what? I didn't know that. So anyway, I'm over Johnny. I don't really care for her, so we can move on. We are back in the room with Izzy and Stacy, and Izzy is telling Stacy, "You were so hot railing Johnny. Like, I really enjoyed that. Like, that made him hot or whatever." And she's low-key, high-key rolling her eyes like, what? And I it was giving weird, and it was giving feminine. Like, what is that about? Because I understand if you're in a fight and your woman defending you, then yeah, but it wasn't even like that. You just enjoy her grilling another woman. Like, that was just, but I told you how I feel about Izzy. Izzy definitely gives me feminine, catty, female type of vibes, and I do not like it. Like, I really think he's the girl in the relationship. So then, Stacy makes a very valid point. Like, I don't want you to only express yourself like that to me every time, you know, it's about Johnny. Like, I want you to come home and like feel like that on your own. Like, I don't want it to be because of a girl that you had a thing for at one point. Anyway, that conversation turned into, which I don't know why she chose that opportunity to bring this up, but she was like, and by the way, while we're talking, let's just get out the fact that in the pod, you had all that lip service talking about what you will and wouldn't do when you come home. You're going to cook for me. You're going to be romantic. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to clean. And Izzy was like, I did clean. Okay, what about the rest of the stuff? You know, and then he was like, when I come home, you know, the type of hours and stuff I work. And she was like, but I make time. I've been cleaning, I've been cooking, you know, and basically all of the things that you've been saying that you will do, you're not doing. So put your money where your mouth there. I didn't really pick up that he was drunk, honestly, but when he started crying, I was like, okay. Anyway, this boy goes to the closet. He goes to the closet and cries. And then she was kind of like, what in the world is going on? Like, why are you crying? Okay, so she goes in the closet behind him and asks, like, why he crying? And he was basically saying, like, there's not, I feel like everything I do basically is not good enough for you. And, you know, he was saying that he didn't want to talk about it right now. Whatever. Let's move on. So we see Milton and Lydia in the bed basically discussing what was going on, and Milton was like, I told Uche, you know, all of our perspectives are different. So Lydia was like, what is your perspective? And he said, oh, our perspective, my perspective is like me and you, and basically my perception of you. So he told her that, you know, basically she is too emotional. Like, she shouldn't allow, what I understood by the conversation is that she was trying to tell her, you shouldn't allow people to like have so much power over you. Like, and I agree, like, you shouldn't allow somebody to like get you so riled up that you have to leave and come back and leave and come back. And she was like, and I left twice, and he was like, if you leave, you should be gone. There's no reason why you should be coming back and leaving again. Like, what is that about? But let me tell you something, okay? When people still have feelings for each other, they can get under each other's skin like that. And I don't think Uche has feelings for Lydia at all. And Lydia was saying the reason she was so upset is that she allowed Uche to waste so much of her time before. And, you know, she is upset for basically making a poor decision. And I feel like, you know, there is some truth to that. Like, she spent years on and off kind of like messing with this man, and like now, you know, he embarrassing her on TV or whatever she felt, you know. But she embarrassed herself. Okay? You embarrassed yourself, Lydia. It didn't you know you didn't have no business coming on this show. Like, and you was asking him to get back together and all that on the first day of the post. So stop it. Talking about signs. This was no sign. You know damn well what you were doing. Putting up in over your head and all kind of stuff. I know some people will say like, Milton, you kind of tell her how to react, and you know, she Latina, she probably might say she Latina, you know, they spicy, quote unquote. But I understand what he's saying. Like, somebody shouldn't have so much power over you that you have to like constantly react like that to them. You should be able to sometimes not allow that person to see that it causing you to step out of character, because guess what, they're going to always know what to do to get under your skin like that. So I think it moves to the next day, and Stacy is doing Pilates, and Izzy comes to talk to us basically so that they can, you know, hash things out from the previous night, and he explains how he feels to her. And you know, they have their little moment or whatever, and he goes to the car and gets a gift. I do not want to laugh. Some people will be like, oh, that gift is cute. I was like, that's what that boy can afford, okay? That boy had a plunger, a framed picture, and the plunger had a note on it. And then he had a coupon for some dinner that he was going to cook for her. And I was like, that's what that boy can afford, okay? Let that boy live. You know, them dating going on right now is Netflix that paying for it, so... I should have said, oh my god, oh y'all, I'm not a fan of Izzy, so let me stop. But the plunger though, like, nah. You and the plunger can go sit down somewhere. The only thing I thought was sweet was the picture and probably the coupon, but the plunger, you don't... What is going on? So Izzy's mom comes to their place, and you could tell that she liked that place. You want to know why? Stop. Okay, let me stop. Because the Airbnb he's staying in is an Airbnb. Okay. But anyway, she liked the place. You know, she was looking at it and whatnot. But anyway, so she came to meet Stacy, and I really like his mother. I feel like he has a nice one, and she was saying that I'm basically looking out for both of you. Like, I don't want you to get hurt, I don't want him to get hurt. And you can see Stacy get emotional at one point when she talks about, you know, feeling like for Izzy she jumped off a cliff without a parachute, and you know, he was there to basically catch her type thing, and she never had that before, and she got emotional. There were some parts of it when Stacy was talking to the mom, and it's like, Izzy, I guess he was nervous, but it made it look like he was tense, and you could see him shaking his leg and like kind of like clenching his jaw a little bit. I didn't know what that was about, but I guess it's because he was nervous, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So Milton is driving his BMW to his mom's house. You know, and I think he's telling Lydia in the car, like, his parents, and like, I guess he was already nervous about it, and based on how his people and them are and all that. So we have no idea how many times they spoke about his parents, like prior to them going to see the parents. So when they get there, you can tell that it's a beautiful black family. You hear me? A beautiful black STEM educated, just nice little family. So his dad is really tall. The mom, I want to say she has locks, but I'm not sure. I believe his sister has locks. The sister has a child and a husband, and they are all there. I felt like the husband didn't even really greet Lydia like that. He was just like, but anyways, the brother-in-law, who really cares? But the rest of them embrace her by hugging her and stuff like that. So I thought that was cute, but it was I think that was maybe the cutest moment that happened, because they had some questions for her. So the mom was like, I hear you have an accent, and then she was like, yes, I think she's from Puerto Rico, right? So I think she says where she's from, and she was like, oh, nice. But I don't know why. Did anybody else get this? But I felt like they want to keep their beautiful black STEM educated family a beautiful black STEM educated family. That is the energy I'm getting. Black excellence. I don't think they really want any outsiders. Not saying like they have like problems with other races. I just feel like they kind of just want to keep that, you know, together. And you, because they are a family of tradition, they named Milton James the Fourth, you know, so they have 4 generations already of James in their family. You can tell that they like to keep things a certain way, and they, you know, like to pay attention to tradition and stuff. And then when Lydia said that she was in STEM, the mother was like, yes. Basically, she was like, that's what she liked to hear about women in STEM and stuff like that. So I was just getting a feeling that they would have preferred a black woman in STEM. But let me know if you got that vibe from them. So while the mother is talking to Lydia and basically asking, you know, what business you have with a 24-year-old, which is a very valid question to ask somebody who's 30 years old. What business they have with a 24-year-old to get married? While they asking her, she's providing her answer. Tell me why, okay? Tell me why Milton over there trying to remove a cock from a bottle with his teeth. In my mind, you know what came to my mind? The meme that was like, is that your man? And it goes, and I'm gonna stick beside him. Good, is that your man? And how you gonna stick beside him? Because I was like, boy, go get yourself a corkscrew. Y'all is rich up in this house. No, I don't know if they're rich, but y'all have enough money for a corkscrew. Why you over there with your teeth, Milton? Why you have your teeth trying to remove that thing, Milton? Stop your nonsense. And that's where his age again was showing. Now the I was just like, what is going on? So the sister was trying to get on him like, so why are you trying to get married? Like, what you doing, Milton? What you doing? And she told Lydia, like, all of your answers seem very mature, aka very scripted, like you already knew what you were going to say. And I feel like she did practice. She did try to like see what she was going to say. One, I can tell you reasons why she would do that. One, because I think he told her how difficult his family is, so she was trying to prepare so she doesn't look like a fool. And then two, you know that she will mispronounce words and stuff. Maybe she was just trying to be more confident in her speech. And so she kind of like practiced a little bit or knew what she wanted to say to them and what kind of questions they would ask. And I don't think nothing's wrong with that. She could have just made it seem a little bit more natural when she was saying it. But I think that's smart. Like, you should be prepared when you're meeting somebody's family, you know. So I didn't see a problem with her kind of knowing what she was going to say, but they were not buying it, okay? They were like, this is scripted, like, I need to see the real you. So anyway, the sister is kind of on Milton, like, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to be getting married in 2 weeks. I'm engaged. I'm going to be married in 2 weeks. Lydia chose this time to ask, do you know when the wedding is? What date? Anyway, he said the 31st or whatever. And then he's telling the sister, like, yo, chill, basically, like, with the uncomfortable questions. And I think, again, it's because he knows his sister. He knows that she would make the girl feel uncomfortable, and he wasn't trying to do that, okay? I just think that that is what it is. And because he knew how it could go, like where the conversation could go, he was basically like, let's not do it. Okay, let's just chill. And I don't see a problem with him kind of not wanting to discuss that right then and there like that. Like, it was more giving, ask me in private, than I don't want to answer at all. But, you know, I could be wrong. But nobody, I mean, you know your family better than everybody else, so. So the sister said to Milton, you know, he didn't answer the question because it's phony. Well, then again, you know your brother. Like you say, you know when he's happy, you know when he's sad, you know when he this, you know when he that. So if you think it's phony, then probably is phony. But we shall see. But how well could you possibly know your brother? Like, honestly. So the mom asked Lydia, what is it she does not like about Milton? The fact that he lazy or nasty, whichever one you want to call it. Lydia was like, he throwing towels everywhere. You know, he doesn't put away his dishes. He's not washing the dishes or washing the dishes like 3 days after, or whatever the case is. And the mother was like, yeah, he's 24, he'll learn. And the sister was like, nope, it doesn't change. And that's really a reflection of her parenting. Like, instead of saying, Milton, like, what you doing? She was like, oh, he's 24, he'll learn. Like, no, correct your son. Is that how you raise him? You should have asked him, Milton, is that how I raised you? Unless if you did raise him, like, to leave his stuff all over the place. You know? So take accountability. Like, I really feel like that was more a reflection of the mother, and you could tell. Like, she was like, oh, like, give him a chance. Like, don't let that be. She was like, is that a deal breaker for you? Good what? Like, it should probably be. Like, nobody have time to be cleaning up after anybody like that. But I really think, like, if she wants Milton to do better, she really have to, like, be like, it's either you fix this or like we can't work. Like, set down some law. Because I just feel like you're 24 years old. You don't need nobody to come and pick up nothing after you, Milton. So they take Lydia aside, and the mother was trying to talk to her, and you can see the sister is giving a side eye. She isn't really buying the story, and she said it's because she feels like she just doesn't hear it from Milton. She was like, she knows her brother very well. She know when he happy, when he this, when he that. But sweetie, you will never know him the same way. It's two different aspects. You probably don't know how that boy is in relationships, how he is with women. I understand as his sister, you might think like you know everything about him, but you don't. When you see his little butt on the trailer, when it's butt naked, going into the shower with Lydia, then tell me if you knew that that's something he would do. Nobody knows everybody like 100%. Like, I understand what you're saying, but you never know. This boy, if why did he? I understand people go on the show for clout. I do, but it does give to me that he might be a little bit rebellious just because of how his family is and being very strict. Maybe he wanted to do something, because it seems like they make it seem like they make the decisions for him. You know, so maybe he just wanted to like take control of his life, and so he went on a show where it would be out of the parents' control. If he married, if he whatever, I don't know. But the sister was kind of, I don't know, I feel like she was doing too much at certain times. I understand as a big sister you can be protective, but my girl, you have your husband and your child, not you? You have your husband and your child. So allow the man to move on and make his own decision in his own life regarding his love life and relationships. Like, you can't be so overbearing. Even if he's 24 years old, he's not a retarded. Like, that's legally he is a grown man. Okay, so moving on to episode 9, and I'm really going to breeze through episode 9 because, you know, at this point they only have 2 couples and they're struggling for content at this point. So we see the 2 girls, the 2 brides, so Lydia and Stacy, but we also see Renee at the dress fitting, and this is because Netflix filmed, according to TikTok, Netflix filmed all of her story with she and Kata, but had to, for whatever reason nobody knows yet, they had to edit them out. So you will see that they have more, like they made it seem like Lydia was saying that she brought when they asked Lydia who she brings with her, she names the girl. She names Renee, but Renee is here for her own dress, okay? They just cut that part out, and Renee had 2 people with her, I believe. So that wasn't Lydia's people, because Lydia brought her mom, her brother, and her best friend, I believe. So on the men's side, Kata was also there, but they cut him out, but you can definitely see the back of his head. So we know that that was him. So he was there as well. For the dress fitting, I don't remember anything significant happening. The girls, I think they picked nice dresses or dresses that suit them, so they were happy about that. I was happy about, you know, dress fittings are always nice. Picking out a dress, saying yes to the dress is always nice. So I liked that aspect of it. Then I think we see Milton and his sister go to have like a one-on-one date where she was trying to basically give him another opportunity to convince her. At this point, he doesn't have to convince you of anything, okay? You are not the person that is going to marry him. You already have your husband. Like, I just feel like he doesn't have to explain himself to you over again. And I remember at one point she said, when he was explaining, she was like, you're making her seem like a science project. And he was like, no, it's not a science project, I'm just analytical in my thinking. And then she was kind of like, yeah, okay. And then he was like, basically, y'all instilled certain things in me that I should like look for in a wife. So basically, you just trust that you have done your job, and I'll take it from there. And I thought that was fair, okay? Like, y'all should be able to trust me enough to make decisions as a man, because I think the sister was saying we make every big decision for you up until this point. So maybe that is what is making them, especially, I feel like she's doing way more than the mom and the dad, you know? I understand the dad was like, yeah, this is an important decision to make and stuff like that. And it is, but I just feel like the sister was doing the most. It was, I don't know, like, girl, boundaries. Then we make it to a date between Izzy and Stacy, and he was saying, you know, it's Monday, he just re-up on her flowers because he gives her flowers every Monday, which I think is cute. And they are now going to do a private plane ride because I think he referenced when the dad told him that love flies first class, so he wanted to give her first class love type of date. And then after that, they had a dinner where the planes are parked. They had a dinner, and I think they were expressing their love to each other. I can't really remember. I wasn't really intrigued. But at the end of it, they had their little like dance, which I thought was cute. That they were dancing. So I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. Then we move on to Lydia and Milton. Milton takes her to this place that has a bunch of minerals, and it's very beautiful. I was like, oh, my husband would like to do something like that. Like, I feel like I would like to do something like that. So I need to look up where they were, because I thought that was an interesting date. And then amongst the minerals, they had like a table set up, and like there was a waiter bringing food and stuff, and wine, I believe. So I thought that was nice, like a nice place to go for a date, especially given who they are and their interest and stuff. So I thought that was cute. Oh, I think I missed a big part. So there was another instance between Stacy and Izzy after their date. So the next morning, you see Izzy trying to chuck a whole set of clothes in a suitcase. Like fold the clothes easy. The suitcase not gonna close. It not gonna close. It doesn't matter how much time you press it. At that point I was like, he not trying to put them clothes in the suitcase. He just trying to get the girl attention at this point. Because I was like, the suitcase is not gonna close. So after we see their date, you notice that he is kind of getting the cold shoulder from Stacy. I was like, what happened? Because last night y'all was dancing, so all of a sudden, what's going on? Like, why the silent treatment? She was kind of ignoring him. Anyway, it turns out that they had a conversation about finances that Stacy was like, when were you going to tell me this? And she was like, in the pods you never mention anything when I always say like you should use your credit card to pay for this that. He said he didn't have a credit card, like he used to have a credit card, but he did away with it when he was in college or whatever the case may be, right? So they didn't go in detail about the credit card situation, but Johnny was trying to tell you, okay, Johnny was trying to tell you that that man is not good with money and he has a bad credit score, or whatever the case may be. And I have no idea what the details of it are, but he did say that it wasn't even a lot of money. It was like 3,500. So what I'm collecting is he has a bad history with money. He probably kind of get a credit card because of his credit score. Or whatever the situation is, and yeah, that's why he doesn't have any credit cards. And I don't know why he didn't tell Stacy, or he claims that he didn't tell Stacy because in the instances when she brought it up, it wasn't like one that was conducive for a lengthy conversation, and it needed to be like the type of conversation where you can sit down and really talk about it, because it would be a long one. But whenever she brought it up, it was like not the right time to discuss it. And I was like, Izzy, what? Because to me, if Johnny knows about your credit score in the pods, it seems like you had discussed something to some extent to her. So why didn't you do the same with your fiance? At least by now. I wasn't buying the explanation at all. And Izzy, you kind of trust him. I feel like there's more to Izzy than we know about, and at the end of the day, the time will reveal. Okay. Anyway, back to Lydia and Milton. Lydia and Milton go on this beautiful date at this, I believe it's a museum that's showcasing different minerals, and given who they are and their interests, I thought that was a very fitting date for the two of them. They sit down, there's a waiter that comes and serves them their food and pours wine, whatever the case may be. It's a nice little cutesy date. They look good. Then the conversation ended up going left, okay? They ended up talking about the whole emotional thing again, and he was basically saying that you know, she needs to learn how to handle herself. She needs to learn how to control her emotions. She was asking him questions like, do you think I like that type of stuff? Do you think and I don't know, you probably do, or maybe not. But Milton, everybody cannot be as nonchalant. Like, I heard somebody say this, he needs to be a little bit more like Lydia, and Lydia needs to be a little bit more like him. Okay, because sometimes the nonchalant thing can really get annoying, especially in cases where you expect your man to, like, you know, defend you or whatever the case may be. You might want him to do, you know, just a little bit more, not to be extreme with it, but just kind of like be able to like express, you know, like just defend you a little bit like more. But Milton just lets everything kind of roll off his back. There ended up being a part in the conversation where he is like, when somebody disrespects me, I show them who the F I am, okay? Basically, he'll switch up how he deals with them. And I agree with that. But sometimes you do have to let people know, okay? Sometimes you need to verbalize things and not just always be kumbaya, kumbaya. So I think sometimes he needs to be a little bit, just a tiny smidge, just a little bit more like Lydia. And Lydia needs to calm down sometimes. She sometimes she just does too much, okay? He was saying basically we handle things differently, and she was like, well, that's okay because we are two different people, which is true. But then he brings up a very valid point. How about when we have kids? Okay, and that was a question his family member asked him, like, have y'all, I think that it was the sister, have y'all spoke about parenting styles and different things like that? That's very important. And it is true, like, me and my husband have different parenting styles, and like, I'm from the Caribbean, we spare the rod, spoil the child. My husband is not really like that, you know, so you kind of you kind of have to make compromises and things of that nature. So he brought up a good point by asking her about when we have kids, you know, like, how are we going to let the outside world like get in their head and like let people get them so flustered that they will like make poor choices when they upset, basically is what he was trying to say. And you know, I thought that was a good question, Milton. Like, if we kind of sort this out now, what lessons will we be teaching our kids? Lydia is older than Milton, but Milton is not the little boy that she trying to like paint him to be. I feel like he's level-headed and he makes valid points. At this point, Milton is carrying the show, okay? On behalf of all the men, he's carrying it. Izzy crying every 2 seconds. Uche at this point, he gone. JP gone. Everybody else gone. JP's a loser. You know what I mean? Like, they had to cut out Carter because he did something so outlandish or whatever the case may be. I'm hearing that's the reason why Netflix cut them out. So at this point, Milton is the MVP of the show. He has been respectful to women. He has been level-headed. He is just like, he's intelligent. He's doing well for himself. At this point, Milton is the winner, okay? He is winning. It's the Milton show at this point. Like, he's the only, like, non-problematic person so far. Like, he is carrying the entire season. And I just want to know, if the two of them get married, if only one couple get married, because I don't see Izzy and Stacey getting married. So when Milton and Lydia get married, who are they going to film for after the altar? Because whose relationship are they going to show? Like, only one? It will only feature Milton? Will it only feature Milton and Lydia? Because y'all only had two couples. And we all know, well, I hope everybody else can see that the two others are not getting married, in my opinion. And oh, I wanted to clarify that in the last video, I thought that girl ring was small. It is not small. I'm sorry, Milton. You picked a good rock, okay? How is it that the rock boy didn't go hard on the rock? But it was a good size rock. I was tripping. Definitely had to go back and look for myself. So Milton is saying like we handle things differently, and then Milton was like, yeah, you were telling me like he's an a-hole, he's a piece of shit. And she was like, yeah, I didn't say that to his face, I tried to convey that to you, and by the way, he is a piece of shit. And I was like, again, Lydia? And he was like, for the 100th time. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, I just feel like it's excessive at this point. You're so like passionate about it. Like, we get it, he's a piece of shit, okay, move on, you know, like that type of thing. But anyway, it was coming across like she was like hammering on that too much. So when he says 100 for the 100th time, she gets upset. She walks away. And guess who doesn't follow her? Milton said, you want a minute? Have your minute, okay? But I'm not going to chase after you. And I feel like she is accustomed of like guys chasing after her. And Milton wasn't with it. He wasn't with the shenanigans. He sat at that table sitting pretty, okay? And he was just waiting for her to come back. So she had to, embarrassingly enough, come and sit her little ass down. Nice and quiet. And then, like, the producers do a weird thing where they edit it and all of a sudden they holding hands again. And I'm like, when did they have time really make up and get to that point, you know? I was like, okay, editing. See, the next episodes will be the final episodes, and we get to find out who is love blind. We get to find out if love is blind again for the 5th time. And at this point, Netflix, we know the answer, okay? Okay, you guys, so this is the final look. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I always forget to encourage people to subscribe, but if you like the content and the commentary, share it with somebody else who loves Love is Blind. Like, why wouldn't you? Let us chop it up in the comments below. Is there anything I said you agree or disagree with? Let's keep it cute, but let's keep it conversational. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the details. But yeah, I just feel like at this point, Love is Blind needs to take a different approach, because right now it's giving love is clout. Because I don't get it. I feel like the people, like, they don't go through the vetting process properly. I want to share a few spoilers that I have been hearing. I heard that one of the theories as to why Carter and Renee were cut out is because Renee had a boyfriend while filming, who she is currently married to. So as a result of that, they couldn't show the footage. They had to cut it out because it was breach of contract. But then I also heard the flip side of the story, where Carter brought another girl to the living quarters, or to where he was supposed to be living with Renee, and he was threatening Netflix if they released any of the footage. But I don't really see how that would be possible, whether or not he threatened them, why they would keep it away. Because if anything, that would have been like perfect for reality TV. It would have been reality TV gold if he brought another woman. So I don't know why they would cut that out, but I really am interested in knowing what happened to their story, because we are struggling at this point. We have a bunch of people leaving, and you can tell that they must have done something different with their contract, because prior to that, I don't think people could just get up and leave in the experiment like that. So I think they must have made some changes, especially with the lawsuit and everything that's going on. Like, it's a lot. Okay, my hands are so dirty for my makeup, but it is a lot. Tell me in the comments what you guys think about this season, this episode, the couples, and who you think will make it. Will you be watching the next season even with all of the mess? Do you think they need to do a better job with casting? I definitely think that they should do a lot better with casting, you guys. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
All in my phone, I got options.